U.S. military captures Venezuelan leader in major international event. Washington, the United States executed a direct military operation on January 3 that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, escalating a geopolitical crisis with global impact. The couple appeared in a federal court in New York City on Monday on drug trafficking and narco-terrorism charges, the U.S. Department of Justice said. President Donald J. Trump announced the mission and said the United States would oversee Venezuela until a safe, proper and judicious transition occurs. He relayed that top American oil companies will help rebuild the country's energy sector. The operation has generated widespread international reaction and raised complex legal and diplomatic questions. World leaders and institutions are responding to a forceful U.S. intervention in a sovereign state. What happened? U.S. elite military units struck targets across Venezuela, including Caracas, in a coordinated overnight mission. Maduro and Flores were taken into custody and transported aboard a U.S. vessel to New York to face federal charges. The White House described the effort as part of a long-running effort targeting drug trafficking and narco-terror networks operating under Maduro's rule. Trump's announcement followed reports of explosions over Caracas and widespread military movement earlier in the week. The U.S. government alleges Maduro's regime operated as a narco-state linked to international drug trafficking and terrorist networks. International reactions. Governments are split in their response. Some Western nations initially welcomed the ouster of a leader widely accused of authoritarian practices, but many have expressed concern over U.S. military action outside of international authorization. Russia and China condemned the operation, arguing it violated international law and sovereignty norms. The UN Security Council plans an emergency session to address the legal and humanitarian implications. Human rights experts and legal scholars have said unilateral military action without a UN mandate raises serious issues under international law. Regional dynamics. The impact spans Latin America. Venezuela's acting government under Delcy Rodriguez has rejected U.S. authority and remains operational in Caracas. Pro-government forces known as colectivos have reportedly increased their presence, prompting the U.S. State Department to issue warnings urging American citizens to leave the country amid volatile conditions. Cuba's government strongly criticized the U.S. strike and suggested the move could further destabilize the Caribbean. President Miguel Diaz-Canel stated that the operation and subsequent U.S. policies risk deepening economic hardship and insecurity in the region. Domestic U.S. impact. Within the United States, reactions are mixed. Supporters of the Trump administration view the operation as a necessary step against drug trafficking and authoritarianism. Critics inside the country, including legal scholars and some lawmakers, have questioned the constitutional authority for military intervention without explicit congressional approval. Venezuelan immigrant communities in the United States are also affected. While some celebrate Maduro's removal, others fear possible increases in deportation actions and tightening immigration enforcement linked to broader U.S. policy shifts. Economic and security effects. The geopolitical event has influenced markets and energy sectors. Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves. U.S. moves to involve American oil companies in reconstruction and production have impacted energy prices and investor expectations, with some markets seeing volatility. Security analysts say the U.S. operation underscores Washington's intent to counter influence from Russia, China, and Iran in the Western Hemisphere, a key strategic priority for the current administration. Why it matters now. This event marks one of the most significant U.S. military interventions in the Western Hemisphere in decades. It alters the political landscape of Latin America, affects global diplomatic relations, and raises fundamental questions about international norms. The detention of a sitting head of state on foreign soil is unprecedented in recent history, and will likely shape foreign policy debates worldwide. What to watch next? UN Security Council deliberations and potential resolutions on the legality and consequences of the operation. The course of Maduro's criminal proceedings in New York and related international legal challenges. A Venezuelan internal stability, including actions by acting government officials and grassroots groups. Reactions from other major powers, particularly China and Russia, and their influence on diplomatic alignments. Changes in U.S. immigration and energy policy, linked to the Venezuela operation. This developing situation will continue to influence global geopolitics in the coming weeks.